Right now at noon, an investigation is underway into what caused the fire at a restaurant on Madison's west side. And Madison city leaders are asking the Air Force to reconsider putting F-35 jets at Truax Field. We'll tell you what steps are next.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Mark is off this afternoon. I'm Josh Breiter. Another sunny and warm and humid day out there today, but meteorologist Dave Caulfield tracking some rain on the way later on. Hi, Dave.
Hey, Josh. Yeah, the rain so far has stayed out to our west. A weak front is out there right now, but we will start to see that rain move a little bit closer to Madison as we get into tonight. So Doppler track still quiet across much of southern Wisconsin. Some light rain. You can see that rain sort of weakening off to our north and west. I expect it to stay out there this afternoon, but this evening into tonight, move a little bit closer to southern Wisconsin. Madison, the Edgewater Skycam, looking at mostly sunny skies right now. Temperatures up into the mid-70s in Madison, close to 80 in Janesville, 80 even in Prairie du Chien and Boscobel. Highs today should make it into the low 80s. Clouds will be on the increase as we head into tonight. And I think the best chance of seeing some showers and thunderstorms, especially west of Madison, will be during the overnight hours and early on Thursday morning. We'll track those showers out and talk about sort of a bumpy forecast into this weekend in your first alert forecast.
Well, at least we've had a couple days of dry out anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Dave, thank you. Well, right now at noon, an investigation is underway into what caused a fire at a restaurant on Madison's west side. Fire officials say the call came out around 3:30 this morning for a fire at Cowboy Jack's along John Q. Hammond's Drive around 3:30. Fire officials said that there was no automatic sprinkler system installed in the building at the time of the fire. 15 units responded, and they were able to get that fire out pretty quickly.
The fire itself was under control within a lot faster than that. It took an hour to be officially declared out, but our crews worked fast. They were here in just a few minutes.
Luckily, firefighters say no one was injured in that fire. Authorities have identified the Madison man killed in a crash involving a utility pole in Monona. The Dane County Medical Examiner's Office says 21-year-old Joseph Swenson died as a result of that crash. It happened along Winnequa Road late Monday night. Swenson was the only person in the car and no other people were injured. The assistant fire chief for the Monona Fire Department said that high speeds were believed to have been a factor in that crash. For the first time, we're hearing from a family of an Edgerton man who was killed in a bulldozer accident nearly 2 weeks ago. Brandon Cliff's family says they're still processing the loss of the man they say was dedicated, devoted, and hardworking. Cliff was attacked by bees during an excavation project, which caused him to lose control of the bulldozer he was driving. Less than 2 weeks before the tragic accident, Cliff and his wife had welcomed their first child, a baby girl, into the world.
He just had to go on and on about how perfect she was. He'd stare at her and say, she's perfect. Isn't she perfect? I said, yes, Brandon, she's perfect.
Something he wanted just so much, and yeah, I'm thankful he got the chance to hold her and all that, because I mean, that's just an amazing feeling, holding your kid. And, at least he got that, I guess.
Friends and family have set up a GoFundMe for the Cliff family, and you can find a link to that on our website and the Channel 3000 mobile app. Dane County Sheriff's deputies conducted a traffic stop on a stolen vehicle on East Washington Avenue early this morning, and a K-9 alerted to drugs in the vehicle. Police K-9 Freed responded and made a positive alert for drugs in that car. The driver, 38-year-old Samantha Pritzkow, was arrested and could face multiple counts, including operating a motor vehicle without owner's consent, bail jumping, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Pritzkow also had 6 other valid warrants for her arrest. The passenger, 35-year-old Alyssa Kolsch, was arrested on a probation warrant and a parole warrant. Both women are now being held in the Dane County Jail. Well, after an 8-hour meeting, Madison's Common Council is asking the Air National Guard to reconsider its decision to bring F-35 fighter jets to Truax Field. The council voted early this morning following a public hearing. The resolution notes that minorities and those with low incomes may be disproportionately affected by impacts like potential increased noise. Many are worried the noise will be significantly louder than that of the current F-16s, which some say are already too loud. Others are concerned about the future of the base without jets. The city's resolution will now head to the Air Force, who makes the final decision. That decision should be made early next year. The CEO of Paradigm has released a statement today as the company prepares for the anniversary of their workplace shooting. Tomorrow marks 1 year since 4 people were hurt when a WTS Paradigm employee began shooting inside the software company's Middleton office on Deming Way. All 4 employees were shot and are now back at work. CEO Nathan Herbst thanked his employees for their courage and also thanked first responders by saying, quote, "We are eternally grateful for the heroism of first responders, the compassion of doctors, nurses, and mental health professionals, and for the support of our customers and community." The company has also created the Paradigm Foundation, a charity whose first initiative has been supporting first responders. News 3 Now is sitting down with some of the officers and the chief of Middleton Police. We'll share our conversation starting tomorrow on News 3 Now this morning with continuing coverage throughout the day. The U.S. and Saudi Arabia have determined Iran was behind a coordinated attack on Saudi oil facilities this weekend, and now the allies are coordinating their response. Nicole Killian reports from the White House.
The U.S. is taking its first action in response to a drone and missile strike on Saudi oil facilities this weekend. President Trump tweeted this morning, "I have just instructed the Secretary of the Treasury to substantially increase sanctions on the country of Iran." Secretary of State Mike Pompeo left for Saudi Arabia late last night, and the kingdom's defense ministry held a press conference to unveil evidence of Iran's involvement in the attack.
I would like to assert the kingdom's capacity to defend its critical infrastructure.
Iran launched 24 drones and 9 cruise missiles flying low and at relatively slow speed to avoid Saudi air defenses. U.S. officials say experts on the ground in Saudi Arabia have examined pieces of the debris, identified the specific type of cruise missiles and drones, and determined they were made in Iran 100%, a senior administration official told CBS News.
Today's sanctions announcement does not rule out a possible U.S. military response, but General Joseph Dunford, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, says the president has not yet asked for any military options.
Senator Lindsey Graham says a military response is needed and pointed to Iran's attack on a U.S. drone this summer.
I think that is the most likely response, from my point of view, to restore deterrence. Clearly, when they shot down the drone, a measured response was seen as weakness.
Iran delivered a letter to the U.S. denying it is behind the attacks and warned it will immediately retaliate if the U.S. strikes. One option may be for the U.S. to back a military response from the Saudis, and Secretary Pompeo has been tasked with finding out how the kingdom would like to respond. Nicole Killian, CBS News, the White House.
The U.S. and Iran do not have diplomatic relations, so the Iranians delivered the letter to the Swiss, who received it on America's behalf. Climate activist Greta Thunberg is back on Capitol Hill today to testify about the impact of global warming on the planet. Thunberg spoke at a hearing on the global climate crisis in front of the House Foreign Affairs Environmental Subcommittee and House Climate Crisis Committee. The 16-year-old is urging members of Congress to step up and do more to protect the planet.
I am submitting this report as my testimony because I don't want you to listen to me. I want you to listen to the scientists. And I want you to unite behind the science. And then I want you to take real action.
Greta was joined by other young activists, including Fridays for Future's Jamie Margolin, the co-founder of This Is 0 Hour, Vic Barrett from the Alliance for Climate Education, and Benji Baker of the American Conservation Coalition. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, let's see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
If your meatloaf is getting a bit boring, we have a new one that can shake things up. And boy, is it ever tasty. I have a question for you. Can you think of one dish that's been around for what seems like forever and continues to reinvent itself over and over again? If you said meatloaf, you're right. When the meat grinder was first invented and ground beef became commonplace, so did meatloaf. During the Great Depression, it was common to mix ground meat with oats, breadcrumbs, or other fillers as a way to get a good cheap meal on the table. These days, meatloafs are made with an assortment of meats and are full of all sorts of add-ins, giving each its own personality. One big trend we're seeing these days is finely chopped or shredded veggies mixed into the meat. Everything from shredded carrot and zucchini to chopped eggplant. The meatloaf we're making today may look like any other meatloaf, but what sets it apart is that we've added finely chopped eggplant to the mixture of ground beef and pork, along with a slew of Italian spices and some Parmesan cheese. So if you love really moist meatloaf that's packed with flavor, you gotta go online and get the recipe for our Italian-style meatloaf. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a changing things up kind of way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, Howard, thank you very much. Still to come for us, another warm and sunny Wednesday across southern Wisconsin, but rain is returning to the region. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield will have your first alert forecast after the break. This is News 3 Now at noon. Our call for action phone bank is open right now, ready to take on your consumer issues. The number to call, 608-270-2833. More CFOs see a recession on the horizon, and you can cash in on getting startled by some spooky flicks. Diane King Hall is here now with today's Money Watch report.
A growing number of finance chiefs are predicting a looming recession. According to a new survey by Duke School of Business, 53% of CFOs believe the U.S. will confront a recession before the 2020 presidential election. Another two-thirds think it will happen by the end of next year. Shares of FedEx fell under pressure after a weaker than expected quarterly report card. The shipping giant says earnings fell to $745 million. FedEx is lowering its outlook for 2020, citing rising trade tensions. The company is also grappling with damage from its divorce from Amazon this summer. Lyft has been slapped with 5 more sexual assault lawsuits. In one, a California woman alleges her driver kidnapped and raped her in 2017. She joins more than a dozen other women who have accused the rideshare company of stonewalling law enforcement and failing to properly screen drivers. Lyft recently added in-app safety features such as 911 access. And for fans of fright, this is the gig for you. USDish.com is looking to hire a movie buff to watch 13 horror classics. The payout, $1,300. You'll be equipped with a survival kit. Candidates must document their experience watching flicks based on Stephen King novels. People can apply through October 15th. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Diane King Hall.
And let's take a look at Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow down 57 points, NASDAQ also down 30 points, and S&P down 8 points. Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee is out of the radio barn once again today, so here are your latest farm numbers. And meteorologist Dave Caulfield now with your first alert forecast. Hi, Dave.
Hey, Josh. Temperatures are once again going to make it into the low 80s by later this afternoon, already in the mid 70s with mostly sunny skies. We are noticing, though, some showers and thunderstorms across portions of Minnesota into northeastern Iowa. But this front, or this batch of showers, is really weakening pretty quickly. So I think it's going to hang out west of us for much of this Wednesday, making us another dry day across southern Wisconsin. However, into later tonight and early tomorrow morning, as we're getting ready for work, that could be a little bit of a different story for some of us. So speaking of those rain chances, I think we'll be probably dry over the next 12 hours or so, but into the early portions of Thursday morning, we're right on that cusp of where we might need that umbrella, especially west of Madison and in spots like Madison. So have the umbrella ready to go for much of Thursday. We could also see some redevelopment in the afternoon Thursday, and we'll keep a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for Friday. The weekend, not too much of a break when it comes to those rain chances either. It's really a bumpy forecast. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Madison on the WISC-TV Skycam will enjoy the sunshine while we have it, and the same goes for the Edgewater Skycam. Some haze in the sky with that humidity still in place, but mostly sunny skies showing up near the Capitol. 76, not 67, 76 in Madison and Monroe, 79, so close to 80 in Janesville. We are at 80 degrees in Prairie du Chien and Boscobel, closer to the Mississippi River Valley. Dew points are plenty humid, especially for this time of year. In the middle of September, in the mid-60s in Madison, already into the 70s, those dew points, so a little bit more humid, closer to that rain across portions of southwestern Wisconsin. High temperatures over the next 10 days. It still is technically summer until we get to next week, so Mother Nature is really trying to squeeze all the summer out of the season before we get fall to come in by next week. So we're in the 80s over the next couple of days, well above normal into Saturday. A little bit cooler by the time we start next week, but still in the 70s. Does look like those 60s for high temperatures return for the middle of next week. So we have seen some semblance of fall color, though, like in Vilas County. Luke Whitburn sends in the first color showing up there. Typically for southern Wisconsin, and we can see some spots to the north starting to get some color to show up, but mid to late October is when we need to wait across our neck of the woods to get really that full, vibrant fall color. Now, Future Track is showing what we need eventually for that fall color, which is the warm, sunny days and also some nice, cool nights on the way. So I do think that this weather that we've been having over the last couple of days is going to help us down the road. However, showers and thunderstorms possible by tomorrow morning, especially to the west of Madison, and then we can see that there could be some redevelopment in the afternoon. Plenty of humidity to help make that happen, so it is possible. Into Friday, we'll keep a slight chance of showers and storms in the forecast. We can see there's definitely downpour potential with these showers and storms over the next couple of days, and that goes into the weekend as well, as those temperatures are in the middle to upper 70s for Saturday and Sunday. Dry on Monday, but then some more shower and thunderstorm chances return on Tuesday and Wednesday. So the humidity a little bit better next week, and temperatures will be feeling more fall-like as we get just in time to the end of September. And you're not seeing double, folks. We did not coordinate this at all.
Look at that.
Oh, wow, that is way too close. Oh, my gosh.
This is crazy.
Yeah,
I wear this shirt about once every 2 months. We work together maybe, what, 4 times a year?
Yeah, exactly.
And this is what happens.
Great minds think alike, or one great mind and whatever I am.
Oh, come on. You're the great mind here.
Thanks.
I'm just the sleepy one. I can't believe I'm still here. So.
I'm too sleepy as well.
All right, Dave, thank you. Coming up, we'll show you how a corn maze in central Wisconsin is helping thank farmers in the dairy state. Keep watching News 3 Now at noon.
Ooh, now which way?
We actually seen it on TV, and we seen an overhead picture of it, and we thought, wow, that's just something that we need to go and check out with our grandson here.
The Culver's corn maze at Feltz's Dairy covers almost 10 acres and was created using state-of-the-art technology.
The maze was actually planted the way it is this year, so we really didn't have to do any mowing. A lot of mazes will just plant a cornfield and then they mow it after it's planted. So this year we actually created the design in a computer program, and then it was planted with a tractor with GPS.
Which way? This way?
It's been taking people anywhere from a half hour to almost 2 hours to figure out the maze. But don't worry, they have a shortcut so people with younger kids can do 3 acres.
Hopefully we don't get lost in there.
It's kind of been good for all ages. We've had all sorts of ages and people, and the longer option is more fun for the older kids and the adults, and then the shorter option works really well for the younger kids.
The Culver's Field is more than an effort to thank farmers. They also want to encourage smart farming and support future Farmers of America chapters.
And they've raised over $2 million since they've started this program for the future of farming. So
they also have a petting zoo, pumpkins, and hay rides.
We thought we'd come and pick out a pumpkin and look and see what they had to offer here.
And thanks for joining us, everyone. Go make it a great day.